We begin at 4 with the desperate search in the water off Laguna Beach after a 5-year-old girl was swept into the ocean by powerful waves. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams.
I'm Jonathan Gonzalez in for Michael Brownlee. That search comes as massive waves and rip currents are creating a dangerous situation at beaches from Ventura County down to Orange County.
Authorities say that little girl was walking along the beach with her mother and a sibling when all three were pulled into the water. The mother and one child were rescued, but the search for that missing girl continues.
We have live team coverage for you on the conditions at the coast. Keenan Willard is in Malibu. We'll get a check on advisories with Melissa in just a moment. But first, let's get to NBC4's Amber Frias live in Laguna Beach with the search for that 5-year-old girl. Amber.
Hey, Jonathan, Colleen. Well, authorities say that those dangerous conditions that contributed to yesterday's tragedy continue today. In fact, they tell us the waves out in the ocean right now are much stronger than they were yesterday. So they continue to urge people to try and stay out of the water as much as possible, or at the very least, be very safe. Powerful waves continue to slam the Laguna Beach shoreline as search crews work to find a 5-year-old girl swept into the ocean Tuesday evening. According to Laguna Beach officials, the child was walking along the sand with her mother and another child near Treasure Island Beach when a wave pulled all three of them into the water. Bystanders were able to rescue the mother and one child, but the young girl remains missing. Lifeguards, harbor patrol crews, and the Coast Guard have all joined the search effort, combing the water and the coastline for any sign of the child. Meanwhile, officials say surf conditions remain dangerous, and those conditions are prompting some families to pack up early.
Like this, you can't really enjoy it, you know, pretty dangerous. I look out for my nieces a lot, and I mean, it's a beautiful day, too, so it kind of sucks, you know?
A couple who drove down from Chino made the same decision.
It was my off day, and, we came, sat down, and we took a couple minutes to, like, look at it, and it was like, dude, like, that looks dangerous. Like, it's not safe.
Officials are urging beachgoers to use extreme caution, warning that powerful waves can quickly sweep people into the ocean. And officials have expanded their search efforts beyond Treasure Island Beach here behind me, where the little girl went missing from. They're now searching throughout Laguna Beach shorelines. Now, at this time, we don't know the identity of the little girl or her family. We're still waiting for more information. But for now, reporting live from Laguna Beach, Amber Frias, NBC4 News.
For that, we're going to check in right now with meteorologist Melissa McGee for more on the advisories for our beaches out there. Melissa.
Yeah, Colleen and Jonathan, peak activity for the rest of this evening and then into tomorrow as we're tracking those high tides. So we do have that coastal concern across our region. The blue shaded color here, that is a beach hazard statement out across areas in Ventura County as well as Orange County. But for LA County specifically, and really focusing in on Malibu, we are underneath a high surf advisory. So Malibu Beach, you could find wave heights anywhere from 8 to 12 feet high as we go throughout the rest of tonight and into tomorrow morning. The big question is, what do you do if you get caught in a rip current? So you could see if you get pulled out into a rip current, it's probably one of the hardest things to do. You do not want to fight the current. You want that current to take you out into sea. And then once you're past the rip current, you want to swim parallel to the shore and then swim at a diagonal angle back into the sand. So we're watching conditions there very closely as we track dangerous rip currents, large breaking waves as well. So let's talk about the high tides and the cycles that we're tracking specifically for LA County. Thursday morning, there's another high tide around 8:30 in the morning. Wave heights anywhere from 3 to 3.3 feet high. And then Thursday evening, that's when we get our stronger southerly swell that moves on through around 7:49 in the evening. That wave height above 6 feet. So we'll be tracking this very closely. The strong currents will subside as we head out into our Friday. We'll talk about the details and the rest of our forecast coming up with that 7-day. I'll send it back over your way.
We'll talk to you soon, Melissa. Thank you. Let's check in now with our Keenan Willard. He's live in Malibu with the rip current warning there. And Keenan, tell us exactly what beach you're at and how things are looking out there.
Yeah, so Jonathan, this is Topanga Beach. You can see it's a beautiful day here in Malibu, and for that reason, a lot of surfers feeling comfortable going out, trying to catch some of the largest swells that we've seen in weeks here in Malibu. But we know that those advisories are underway here because of that. while there are some people who feel comfortable in the water today, there's a lot who do not, that are sticking to the sand, saying it's safer over here, out of the way of those dangerous rip currents. The reason that we're hearing some of these advisories, the rips like you can see there by the rocky area here at Topanga Beach, causing authorities to tell people anyone getting in the water today needs to be confident in their swimming abilities and be cautious. At first glance, it's a picture-perfect beach day in Malibu. What you may not see, the potential threat lying just below the surface.
And those conditions, those hazardous conditions are still there.
The city of Malibu is warning of hazardous beach conditions through tomorrow, including high surf, rip currents, and increased risk of drowning. Emergency officials say the biggest waves came in out of the south yesterday, but the danger's not done yet.
It really churned up the bottom and ate the bottom up. And so you'll have really uneven bottom contours and conditions. And that's what creates those really strong rip currents.
At the Malibu Pier this morning, NBC4 saw swells up to 10 feet high. Over at Topanga Canyon Beach, the waves weren't the biggest risk.
Keep an eye on the rip tides. There's one out there right now.
Despite the warnings, this is Southern California, and many surfers braved Malibu's beaches to ride some of the biggest waves in weeks.
And there's great surf this week, so wanted to get out as much as I could.
The energy's in the air. Couldn't really sleep last night because I knew the swell was up.
But a lot of people tell us they felt safer on the sand, saying anyone who gets in the water right now needs to be aware of the risks.
Yeah, I'm 69 years old now, so so it's a little bit more than I can handle.
Try to swim with a partner, or at least someone on the beach who's watching you come in. This shore break can be really powerful.
And check with the lifeguard. Make sure you're swimming in front of an open lifeguard tower always.
And unfortunately, as we're learning today with that situation in Laguna, you don't actually have to be in the water for there to be that threat present that can affect you. Take a look at the beach here. You can see where the high water mark is. When we're talking about the threat of being pulled in, rescue officials told us it does not only exist up to this high water mark, that there are some situations like you can see at the far end of the beach here at Topanga, where very suddenly strong surf can shoot out above the high water mark and ultimately potentially pull somebody in. So they're urging families, especially those with young children, to set back with maybe if they're walking or if they're sitting with their chairs and their umbrellas set up, to do so at a good distance above the high water mark in case you see something like that where the wash suddenly pushes up beyond where you can see the previous high water mark is and could pose that threat. So we're going to continue watching the conditions here in Malibu. For the moment, though, Keenan Willard, NBC4 News.
All great points there, Keenan. Thank you. And we will, of course, continue to monitor the high surf and rip current warning throughout the day. Download our free NBC LA app for breaking alerts sent straight to your phone.